As we celebrate Women's Month, SAICA Male Difference Makers put their hands up to being the very first to pay homage to women who have had an indelible and positive impact both in their personal and professional lives. Joining me now on this episode of On the Couch with Difference Makers, the Women's Month edition, is Piet. A very warm welcome to you, Piet.
Thank you.
Let's get right into it. So what do you think are some of the challenges that women still face in society, and how can men assist in allaying some of those challenges?
Okay, so I can only speak from my own experience, and I believe that in our profession, women do not currently face significant challenge professionally today.
Okay.
So, but I will also say that it's not all plain sailing. So I started out as a university lecturer. When I studied, we only had two, in my final year of study, there were only two female students in our class. Of course, our class was only 13 students, but so significant low percentage of that. Since then, we've seen a lot more people entering the profession through the academic part. As a lecturer, my involvement in SAICA's exam, and we see them being appointed and taken up in firms. So I saw an increase in women setting up their own firms, starting out as chartered accountants, tax practitioners, and particularly only not in the field of taxation. And this is why I say that I don't believe they face significant professional challenges. We're working on a professional level. Okay, working together would mean that going forward, we must constantly monitor the situation and get it improved. And getting input from women to see what is needed on that basis. I find, however, that on maybe gender equality, and I hear stories about harassment, and that's not my own experience, but there I believe that they may be still facing challenges. But as I say, I don't personally have to say that, but from what I've heard, there are some challenges on that space. So professionally, no significant challenges, but maybe on other fronts they do, as women face the challenges.
Let me ask you a rather difficult question then. With regards to some of those challenges that you still hear about.
Yeah.
What do you think, or how do you think men can get involved in sort of bringing down the numbers of those challenges or of those incidents?
Yeah, so I think there must be a general awareness. So let's just take as an example a firm, a smaller firm, medium-sized firm, big firm, it doesn't matter, because I think the big firms are doing better in this. But basically educating, making people aware of these things. You know, yeah. So I've been involved in some labor disputes and some tax, from a tax point of view, sitting there and listening to what had happened at the firm, and how this person was constitutionally treated unfairly, but as a woman particularly. And I believe that if you become aware of this, and there's this education part, then one starts looking out for this in future. So sort of starting to then implement things in the firm that will, number one is it must be awareness, that people must constantly think, and this is not a once a month, once a year, 1 month a year thing, constantly think about, you know, how do we impact on that gender, you know, and yeah, on that basis, and that awareness would then mean that you will have to have some interventions to address that. Yeah.
And I guess on a more lighter note, what impact would you say women have had in your professional and personal life? Yeah,
so I think women had a significant impact in my professional life. So I started out as an article clerk, and at that time I don't think there was a single woman CA partner in South Africa. Wow. Or there may have been one. So yeah, this goes before your birth.
Well, how long ago was this?
I qualified 40 years ago.
Okay.
So I did my articles from 1979 onwards. So yes, and as I've said, in our class there were very few women. But then when I joined the university, I had chance and landed under, she was my immediate senior, Lila Stack. We had an extremely difficult path to qualify as a CA. But then I met this woman, you know, in our firm, there were not. When I did articles, there were a couple of ladies that were doing articles, but not many. And now I'm working under a person that is a female, and that that is over me, she had a significant impact on my professional and personal life.
Yeah.
Just that professionality and the high quality of her work and work ethic, and also in her personal life. She has some real serious challenges there, and how she dealt with that had made an immense impact on that. So yeah, so I would say that, and since then, many women have crossed my path professionally, and I was always impressed with them, and they're not all CAs, but always professionally, you know, impressed with the quality of them and the way. In those days, we still had those challenges. I mean, they were paid significantly less than what we were paid and things like that. And under those circumstances, that they excel and made an impact on one and so. But this is how I want to also work, you know. So you're sort of getting that input from that person, that would improve me as a professional.
So how then do you pay homage to these phenomenal women that you just mentioned?
You know, I think you want to start by thanking them and saying, you know, for all the women that had passed my life, and you start with your mother, which probably has made the biggest impact, your spouse, and then professionally. Yeah, you've made a positive impact on my life, and I thank you for that. Yeah.
I actually wanted you to say exactly that, but into the camera.
Oh, okay.
So that they actually feel like you're saying this to them, so that they feel valued and appreciated.
It's the whole part there.
Yes, and the great thing about these videos, I must say, is that they'll live on forever. So look into the camera and imagine you speaking to these women and thanking them.
Okay. Right, so for all the women that had passed my career and my professional path up to now and personal life, and I would start with the mother, of course, that have the most significant impact in your life, your spouse, but then all the professional women that had passed and been involved in my career so far. I would just want to say a big thank you for the impact you've had on my development as a professional.
Thank you so much. Piet is really pulling at my heartstrings right now. So thank you so much for joining us on this episode of On the Couch. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.